fabricated, and we know this based on precise intelligence and evidence. While the terror organization continues to hunt down Palestinians, their own people inside of the Gaza Strip, they continue to violate the agreement. On Sunday, the IDF identified a terrorist who crossed the yellow line and advanced towards IDF soldiers in northern Gaza, posing an immediate threat to them. In accordance with the ceasefire agreement, the IDF eliminated the terrorist approaching them. And earlier today, the IDF identified terrorists who crossed the yellow line again and advanced towards our troops in southern Gaza, posing an immediate threat. The IDF responded from the air and on the ground and struck the terrorists to remove the imminent threat. As Israel continues to uphold its side of the agreement and bring in hundreds of trucks of aid on a daily basis into Gaza, again, Hamas shows their true colors by derailing humanitarian aid meant for their own people. CENTCOM, who is working directly with the IDF, released drone footage of terrorists looting an aid truck traveling as part of a humanitarian convoy, delivering assistance from international partners to northern Khan Yunis. Hamas terrorists attacked the driver and stole the aid truck. I can share with you today, Prime Minister Netanyahu also had a very positive phone call conversation yesterday evening around 6:30 Israel time with the Chancellor of Germany. The Chancellor complimented the Prime Minister on his leadership and reiterated the strong alliance between Israel and Germany. I will now take a few questions. First question from Adam Parsons of Sky News. Is Prime Minister Netanyahu now in favor of an automatic death penalty for those convicted of terrorist murders? And if so, can you clarify what he believes defines a terrorist murder and whether Israeli citizens should also face justice if found of similar crimes? So what I can share with you specifically on this matter, Adam, is in terms of the death penalty bill, it's known that the Prime Minister supports this, of course, as a punishment after a fair trial takes place in our judicial system. Anyone that harms the state of Israel and its citizens will face consequences. Of course, this is also only a bill right now in the Knesset. Joel Pollack from California Post. Could you kindly explain a few basic facts about the Stay Taiman video? Did it purport to show sexual abuse or some other form of abuse? Was it faked or is it real footage? Was it leaked with the intention of prompting public criticism or some other action? So in terms of that, I will refer you to the Prime Minister's remarks that he made yesterday before his government meeting. This is Natalie Meltzer from the Associated Press. Can you confirm that former Chief Military Prosecutor Colonel Matan Solomesh was also arrested overnight? I've seen those reports. I don't have anything to share at this time. Itai Stern from NPR. Can you please share some information about how Israel is about to deal with the aid looting in Gaza? And also what Israel is about to do with the Hamas terrorists that are still in the area of the yellow line? So what we've continued to say, that any terrorist that crosses into the IDF part of Gaza, crossing over that yellow line, of course, that's a violation, as you've seen over the last few days, that any terrorist who decides to do that poses an immediate threat to our IDF soldiers. And under the ceasefire agreement, our soldiers are allowed to act to defend themselves, and that will continue to take place if Hamas terrorists continue to also violate the ceasefire agreement. And in terms of aid looting in Gaza, so unfortunately, really unfortunately, especially for the people of Gaza, looting aid by Hamas is nothing new. We have been telling you, journalists, we've been telling the world about this for the last 2 years, that many of these aid trucks have been stopped and looted by Hamas. Their aid has been sold after they've stolen it at exponential prices, of course, making this even more difficult for the people of Gaza to even get their hands on essential items. We've continued to say that Hamas causes their own people to suffer on a daily basis inside of the Gaza Strip. I've seen some horrific videos just over the last week on X, on Twitter, of Hamas, these horrific terrorists beating their own people for unknown reasons, likely reasons that are so minor if there even were to be a reason. This is what they do to their own people, killing people, executing people, torturing people. This is what they do. So in terms of aid being looted, we will continue to bring more aid in. We will uphold our side of the ceasefire agreement. We are bringing hundreds of aid trucks into the Gaza Strip on a daily basis, thousands of aid trucks into the Gaza Strip on a weekly basis. We will continue to do that. Shana Fold from Israel Daily News. What does it mean that Israel has evidence that Hamas knows where the hostage bodies are? What evidence is that? Of course, Shana, we've continued to say that we are aware that Hamas knows where our hostages are located. Hamas took our people captive more than 2 years ago. Now, you don't just lose people that you kidnap. I know you know that too. And in terms of evidence, this is precise intelligence the IDF has and the State of Israel has. And we are demanding for our 8 hostages to be released. Our 8 deceased hostages should have come home nearly 21 days ago. And the intelligence that we have indicates that Hamas knows exactly where the bodies of these deceased hostages are located. We are expecting them to be returned. Matt Bradley from NBC News. Does the Prime Minister's office have a response to comments saying that the Prime Minister and his allies have indicted against the former military advocate general? So in terms of that, I said before, you can go back and listen to the Prime Minister's remarks that he said at the beginning of the government meeting yesterday. Adam Parsons again. Just to be clear, is it correct that anyone who crosses the yellow line is defined as a terrorist and can be shot? If our soldiers deem that this is an imminent threat under the ceasefire agreement, they are allowed to defend themselves. And that is what we've seen example today. Okay, looks like those are all the questions that I have. As always, you can reach out to the Prime Minister's office if you have any other questions. Thanks so much for joining us today.